Everybody in the compound knew one thing for sure. Tara and Kelvin could not stand each other. So when they suddenly started falling in love in secret, everything became dangerous. This is the emotional story of two sworn enemies whose constant fights slowly turned into love, heartbreak, jealousy, and a romance that shook an entire compound. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to this channel to enjoy more exciting stories. The streets never slept. From dawn till midnight, life moved loudly through the narrow Lagos road like restless water. Keke drivers shouted at passengers, danfo conductors insulted stubborn commuters, women argued over tomatoes in front of small roadside shops, children chased footballs carelessly across gutters, generators coughed smoke into the hot evening air, and in the middle of all the noise stood the compound. A large four-flat building, painted cream and brown, surrounded by a tall black gate that has seen too many rainy seasons. The compound was popular on the street, not because rich people lived there, but because something was always happening there. Somebody was always fighting, somebody was always gossiping, somebody was always peeping through curtains, and somehow, Kelvin always became the center of trouble. The first day he moved into the upstairs flat, the landlord already disliked him. Nobody knew why exactly. Maybe it was Kelvin's quiet nature. Maybe it was because he didn't know how to pretend. Or maybe it was because he carried himself with a calm confidence that irritated insecure people. Whatever it was, Alhaji Bamidele hated him almost immediately. The old man liked Tenant, who feared him. Tenant who laughed too hard at his jokes. Tenant who greeted him morning and night like the village chiefs. Kelvin wasn't rude, but he wasn't fake either, and that became a problem. Things got worse after the repainting issue. The landlord gathered all tenants one evening. I want us to repaint this compound. Everybody should contribute. The amount he mentioned nearly made the woman in flat 2 choke. Still, nobody complained openly. Nobody except Kelvin. Sir, Kelvin said respectfully, I just paid for 2 years. Maintenance like repainting should normally be handled by the landlord. There was silence, like dead silence. The landlord's face darkened immediately. The other tenants lowered their heads. That was the beginning of war. After that day, Kelvin became the enemy of the house. Every single thing he did annoyed him. If his generator stayed on too long, problem. If he came back late, problem. If he forgot the light in the corridor, problem. One afternoon, the landlord's wife even accused him of walking proudly. Kelvin almost laughed. How do somebody walk proudly? But he kept quiet because arguing with them was like pouring water inside baskets. Then Tara came home for holiday and everything became worse. Tara Bamidele was fire in human form. Beautiful, sharp-eyed, hot-tempered, stubborn. She was the kind of girl whose presence changed an entire environment immediately she entered. The compound felt louder whenever she returned from school. The first thing she noticed after arriving home was Kelvin washing his cows downstairs. Their eyes met briefly. No smile, no greeting, only irritation. Her luggage nearly touched his bucket accidentally. Can't you arrange your things properly? She snapped immediately. Kelvin slowly looked up from the car. Welcome home to you too. I'm serious, you blocked the whole place. Kelvin stared at her for 2 seconds before shaking his head. Your family wakes up every morning looking for my trouble, and you wake up every morning behaving like you own the compound. Better than behaving like I own the old Lagos. Tara scoffed loudly. Rude man, dramatic woman. They replied each other. That evening, the entire compound heard them arguing. Again. From then onwards, their fights became normal entertainment. Sometimes the woman upstairs would pause her movie just to listen. Tara complained about everything concerning Kelvin. His music, his visitors, his parking, his slippers outside his door. One evening, she shouted because his clothes accidentally touched hers on the drying line. Another day, she accused him of finishing all the water in the tank. You bat like fish, she yelled. Kelvin burst out laughing. That made her even angrier. But beneath all the irritation, something else quietly existed. Attention. Neither of them admitted it, but they noticed each other too much. Kelvin noticed the tiny dimple that appeared whenever Tara laughed accidentally. Tara noticed how calm Kelvin remained even when angry. She noticed how he carried everything for older neighbors without being asked. She noticed how children in the street liked him naturally. And Kelvin noticed something too. Behind Tara's sharp mouth was softness, a softness she has hid carefully. Then one evening changed everything. There was a blackout across the area. The entire street was dark except for small generator lights coming from nearby shops. Tara walked to his charging spot at the junction, carrying her dead phone angrily, and there he was, Kelvin, already sitting there quietly. She almost turned back immediately, but every other charging shop was packed full. Annoyed, she sat far from him. Silence stretched between them. Then suddenly, the generator made a horrible sound and died. Everybody groaned loudly. Kelvin muttered, "Even this generator is tired of Nigeria." Tara laughed before she could stop herself. Real laughter. Kelvin looked at her in surprise because for the first time ever, they smiled at each other without fighting. It felt strange. After that night, small conversations started happening naturally. At first, awkwardly. "How's school? Fine. You're back late. Traffic. Your mother shouted today." She likes shouting. Tiny conversations, nothing serious, but enough to slowly weaken the hatred between them. Then came the rain night. Heavy rain started suddenly while Tara was returning from a salon nearby. People ran everywhere. She rushed under a tiny shop shade beside the junction, then froze. Kevin was already there. He looked at her and smiled softly. "Rain likes following you." Tara rolled her eyes. "Don't start, please." Thunder cracked loudly across the sky. Tara jumped unconsciously. Kevin tried not to laugh. "You're scared?" "I'm not." Then another thunder struck harder. This time she moved slightly closer to him without realizing it. The small shade forced them closer than usual. Rain poured heavily around them. Water splashed near their feet. For the first time, there was no argument between them, only silence, a silence that was comfortable. Then Kelvin removed his hoodie and covered her shoulders with it gently. Tara looked up slowly. Their eyes locked. Something shifted, something dangerous. The tension between them suddenly felt different, not anger anymore. Something warmer, something softer. Tara quickly looked away, but her heartbeat had already betrayed her. After that day, they became secretly close. They talked at the junction after evening traffics. They walked home from nearby shops. They laughed over stupid things, and slowly, feelings entered quietly. One night, Kelvin bought roasted corn for both of them. They sat outside the compound after everybody slept. The street lights flickered weakly. Tara laughed so hard at one of his jokes that tears entered her eyes. Kevin stared at her unconsciously. Tara noticed. The laughter slowly faded. The air suddenly became heavy. "Why are you looking at me like that?" she asked softly. Kevin swallowed. "I don't know." Her heartbeat quickened immediately. Neither of them looked away. Slowly, very slowly, Kevin reached for her hand. Tara didn't pull away. The silence between them became intense. Then Kevin leaned forward gently and kissed her, softly, carefully, like he had wanted to do it for a very long time. Tara froze at first, then slowly returned the kiss. The kiss was soft and trembling and full of everything they had been hiding for months. When they finally pulled apart, Tara looked breathless. "We're in trouble," she whispered. Kelvin smiled softly. "I know." From that night, everything changed completely. They became lovers secretly. Hidden smiles across the compound, late night phone calls, secret meetings outside the gate. Sometimes Kevin would wait at the junction just to walk her home. Sometimes Tara sneaked downstairs late at night just to sit with him outside his flat. Their chemistry became impossible to ignore. One evening, while talking quietly near the staircase during blackout, Tara started laughing loudly. Kelvin quickly covered her mouth playfully. She beat his hand jokingly. "Witch. Idiot." Then he kissed her again, longer this time, deeper. Tara melted against him immediately. Tension between them always exploded whenever they touched. Months of hidden attraction had become impossible to control, but happiness never stays quietly for long. One Saturday afternoon, Tara went out with her friend after attending a seminar. As they stepped outside the restaurant, she froze completely. Across the road stood Kelvin with another woman, beautiful, elegant. The woman laughed while holding his arm comfortably. Then she hugged him tightly. Kelvin smiled warmly at her. Tara's heart shattered instantly. Everything around her suddenly sounded distant. Her chest tightened painfully. Her friend kept talking, but she couldn't hear anything anymore. Tears burned down her eyes immediately. So this was the truth. All this time, all the kisses, all the promises, all the late night conversations, they were all lies. She turned away before Kelvin could notice her. That night, she cried until morning. Meanwhile, Kevin knew absolutely nothing. The woman was simply his cousin from Abuja, visiting Lagos for a wedding. But Tara refused to hear explanations nobody gave. The next few days became torture. She ignored his calls, ignored his greetings, avoided him completely. Kelvin became frustrated and confused. And then came Tunde, a rich, successful, and well-connected man. Her parents immediately loved him, especially after hearing about his businesses and properties. This is the kind of man you deserve, her mother kept saying. Broken-hearted and angry, Tara agreed to entertain him, not because she loved him, but because she wanted to forget Kelvin. When Kelvin eventually heard rumors about Tunde visiting the house constantly, panic entered him immediately. One evening, he stopped Tara near the gate. "Why are you avoiding me?" She laughed bitterly. "Go and meet your girlfriend." Kelvin froze. What girlfriend? The woman at the restaurant. Realization hit him immediately. My cousin? Tara's expression changed slightly. She came from Abuja for a wedding. There was silence, a painful silence. Tara suddenly felt stupid. But the pain remained. "You should have told me. You never gave me the chance." Her eyes became watery instantly. Kevin stepped closer. "I love you, Tara." The words hit her hard because she had waited so long to hear them. Traffic noise echoed outside. A generator hummed nearby. Somebody shouted from across the street, but at that moment, it felt like only both of them existed. Tears rolled down Tara's cheek quietly. "I hate you," she whispered weakly. Kelvin smiled sadly. "No, you don't." Then he kissed her, right there near the gate. Slow, emotional, desperate. Tara grabbed his shirt tightly and kissed him back through tears. Months of pain, confusion, jealousy, and love crashed between them at once. Unfortunately, her father saw everything. The shouting shook the compound. "What nonsense is this?" Tara jumped away immediately. The landlord's face burned with fury. Neighbors opened doors instantly. Her mother rushed outside. Kevin tried explaining respectfully, but the old man exploded completely. "You want to disgrace my family?" Tara cried openly. Her father threatened to throw Kevin out immediately, but for the first time ever, Tara stood against her father. "I love him." The compound became silent immediately. Even Kelvin looked shocked. Her mother nearly collapsed. The weeks that followed became war. Her parents pressured her endlessly. Tunde kept visiting. Arguments filled the house daily, but Tara refused to back down, and Kelvin refused to leave her. Slowly, the truth began coming out. Other tenants defended Kelvin. People spoke about how responsible he was, how respectful he had always been. Eventually, even the landlord could no longer deny reality. Kelvin truly loved his daughter, and Tara loved him too deeply to let go. Months later, the same compound that has once carried insults every evening became filled with wedding preparations. Neighbors decorated the compound. Women cooked outside laughing loudly. Children ran around excitedly. And one quiet evening before their wedding, Tara sat beside Kelvin outside the compound gate. The noisy Lagos street moved endlessly before them. Kelvin pulled her gently onto his lap. "You know you used to insult me too much," he murmured. Tara laughed softly. "You deserved it. You were just obsessed with me. In your dreams." They both laughed. Kelvin smiled and kissed her forehead gently, then softly against her lips. This time peacefully. No hiding, no fear, no tension. Just love. The same love that started with arguments inside one noisy compound on a busy Lagos street. And that was how two people who once couldn't stand each other became each other's greatest love story. If you enjoyed this emotional movie, do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe to this channel for more romantic Nollywood stories like this one.